Forbidden Druid V2 Santa Cruz 5010, which is a 130mm travel rad bike for you. So, find out the answer to that. Riding with Jim Bland of Team Union Vital MTB frame last season. Can't quite divulge where he's going to be on the World Cup next year, but I'm sure you'll find out soon. But anyway, it's time to have a look at these two bikes and then send them into some canyons. But yeah, I mean, this isn't a super formal test. We're just head to head on the two bikes. As a result, a few people on YouTube, as soon as I posted the 5010 video, they know I've got the Druid long-termer. So like, how do they compare? So,
we're gonna find out.
I mean, short travel rad bikes in a mullet spec, both are gonna be fun, right? But they are significantly different in the way they go about delivering that 130mm of travel. So, like I say, 130mm rear, both of them. Druid's got 150 fork, 5010, 140, and it's 36 versus Pike. So there's a definite difference there. There's about a 700 gram difference in weight as well. Druid coming out a lot heavier, even with a swap to a carbon bar, carbon wheels, and these Cryptotal trail tyres, which is my first run on these, so it's not quite a, and basically this is my long-termer bike, so it's a bit of a random spec on here, but it's actually riding really well, as it normally does. But in terms of geometry, half a degree difference in head tube between the Druid and the 5010 in slack, but 64.5 to 65 essentially. Apart from that, the only difference is in wheelbase. This Druid's about 20mm longer, most of that from the chainstays. So this isn't intended to be scientific in any way. It's very much a character comparison. There's full live ride reviews on both the bikes in their normal spec. Woo! Can't be letting go there on the back. There's full, like I say, live ride reviews in the OG spec on the channel if you want to look at them. Very much just discussing vibe and who these different bikes will suit. Already liking the fact that the Druid is all over Jim's back wheel. Even if I'm snagging the Aldi action snacks on the shock, because some idiot forgot their riding pants. Oh, feel that pump. Feel that. So obviously the big difference here is Jim's riding DPP and I'm on the high pivot hype. Yes! Oh, he's braking. Wasn't expecting that.
Doesn't move. What's up? That's full trouble. It doesn't move.
It does. I think it's fair to say Jim's not feeling the love. I think Jim's where I was with the tall boy, maybe. Certainly saw a lot more of your back wheel than I was expecting to, young man. This is getting interesting already. Well, this is getting interesting already. You use full travel. You right to the hydraulic bumper. Interesting, because I find it really hard to get to that. I was like 110 in it all the way. These tyres are drifty. New Contis. Super aggressive looking tread, but feels like a pretty hard compound. Anyway, swap around, throw some cameras on some different positions. Let's see if Jim can find some love. But because chain's running over that pivot, it's effectively isolated from the wheel movement, so when you're cranking hard, it's a really stable and efficient feel, even though it's obvious the suspension is super smooth when it comes to hitting blunt objects and collecting drops. Right, so switcheroo, Jim on Druid, I'm 10. It definitely feels a lot firmer. Definitely hoppier, tighter vibe. I think it's safe to say Jim appears to have got his steez back on that Druid straight away. What are you feeling, Jim? Wow, yeah, definitely. I mean, the difference between how 130mm feels on these two bikes is nuts. I have a sneaking suspicion this is where we're really going to see. Whoa, I mean, this bike feels a lot lighter and more agile. Even though, I mean, the weights are different, but yeah, this isn't just, whew. Yeah, I mean, before on Jim's wheel, I was feeling like nothing could go wrong. Whereas this is much more visceral. But to be fair, it's closing the gap. Yeah, it punches that beautifully because it's not absorbing the trail as much. You can actually drive harder off it. But you've definitely got to pump, prime the bike a lot more through this section. Definitely feel it a lot through my legs as well. Yes!
Fuck, that is so good.
Jim's a fan. First one on the Druid.
The traction difference is like...
Are you believing?
Yeah. Different level.
I could definitely feel all my old brakes and my ankles more trying to keep up with you on this.
Yeah.
But when you push, this is really, really rewarding. Yeah. That's the face of not being convinced. Oh, this is just so much fun doing this with Jim again. We spent hours doing this before he went off on his world travels. My #1 sorcerer's apprentice for techie tests for years. So good to get the bikes head to head in the same situations. And it's not just on the descents that trifecta high pivot inverted 4-bar makes a massive difference. It's also the way it just rolls over roots, the way the back wheel can just swing up and out of the way of things that would normally catch it and bounce it up. You still got to remember, this is the mullet version, so you know, this is theoretically the lumpier incarnation. But certainly, as soon as things get techie and lumpy, the way that back wheel just contours and grips in isolation to the suspension is phenomenal in terms of traction and forward motion. But then against that, you have got drag from the idler and a higher overall bike weight. So on sort of fire road climbs, although it doesn't bob, it's very efficient from that point of view. It's definitely more drag, more weight to contend with. So again, it's just how you like your bike to feel on techie stuff, really, both up and down. And to be honest, I don't think we could have picked two more diverse feeling bikes, which in theory are so similar, but on the trail feel so different. That should be a good example. Yeah, I mean, just wind it up and over there. So smooth, especially when combined with that T-type, so you can just slam those changes through whenever you need to. But then when it kind of tops over a section, you're getting a real flow and push forward as well. So it's not just kind of passive and reactive. It works to really drive the bike forwards in the part of the push where you're normally expecting it to hang up. Swapperoo again. Jim's trying to vibe on the 50-10. At least see, now you're popping it and jumping it more, Jim. You're looking happier on it now. Oh, okay, let's go that way. It's not like you're not used to Santa Cruz either, is it, Jim?
No, I think I'm on number 8 back-to-back Santa Cruzes.
Yeah, and you've been wrenching on V10s all year.
For the last 2 years, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, been an interesting day out then.
Interesting day out, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely two very similar but radically different personalities from the same travel category. Pretty interesting.
But yeah,
I was saying as well, like if we went somewhere that was fast with bucket turns, then I think this would come into its own.
so there we go. Two 130mm trail bikes, cutting edge in their own way.
Yeah.
What's the conclusion? It's pretty dramatic, isn't it?
Hugely. Like, yeah, to say that they're in the same wheel size category, same frame travel category.
Same geometry, basically, apart from back end.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, the characteristics couldn't be more radically different, really.
I mean, that's an isolator. Druid,
Yeah.
in terms of, kind of, we were talking about this vertically, you were saying you could almost be on a 170mm travel bike
Yeah.
with really, really good pedaling manners.
Yeah, yeah. This you've got like hovercraft with the Druid, or like punchy hot hatch.
Yeah, I mean, that's rally spec.
Yeah,
that's
it is,
like skateboard.
Yeah.
It's got that proper old, like,
scale.
yeah, I mean, it's almost to the point where you can't even feel the shocks working.
Yeah.
I mean, you were in shock with the shock.
It is at times, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know, if you take it to Adel Woods, local to here, or you know, Steel City or something like that, that's going to be an absolute sender. It's very similar to how we felt about the Tall Boy, really.
For sure, yeah.
But I think that's more forgiving than the Tall Boy. I think because the geometry, and maybe with the larger tyre on it as well.
Yeah.
Because I really like that.
It's definitely got a place.
Yeah, very narrow.
Yeah.
Very narrow band. I know Alex tested it for MBUK, and he said it had a very narrow kind of bandwidth of hilt or suit, and I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But I know Tall Chris loves this. He's got a 50 at the moment, and he's loving it because he's a proper...
Wristed Adel on it.
Yeah. Whereas this, I mean, this is almost dangerously fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Really. I mean, it takes a really, really good fork to work with that bike.
Even though it's got 130mm travel, like I feel like I could go to the Alps on this and not be out of place,
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hyper.
But I crash a lot on that.
Because you're getting faster.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going faster, and because there's almost no sense of going fast. It's like driving a 4x4 fast.
Yeah.
You kind of just less, you're more isolated, and then suddenly you're like, ah!
Yeah, I'm up to speed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think another thing we noticed with this bike as well was the frame feel. Like if you're coming close to like the narrow top tube and like bulky lower part of the chassis.
Yeah,
get
it's
like a really
really
nice
subtle.
balance.
Yeah. Whereas that's a brawler, isn't it?
Yeah.
That still feels really stiff.
Yeah, solid back end.
You know, but when you look at the tubes, bigger all the way through, I guess it's, you know, it's not as much of a surprise. Single piece rear swing arm, short linkages that are kind of in plane with other tubes. Whereas this is, you know, this is a more subtle, sort of more graceful looking bike overall.
For sure.
But I mean, and again, you know, a lot lighter as well.
Yeah.
50-10, lighter, much more direct pedaling feel. I mean, some people might not like that kind of almost elastic, stretchy kind of, almost not sure what the back end is doing because it's doing it so well feel. Because that feels more like a hardtail where you don't have to worry about the back wheel as much.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
That's my. It's just all fork.
Instant raz into the.
Yeah, it's all fork. Really, that bike. You know, the back end's just there almost as a bump stop. Whereas that is all back end.
All about the back end.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, split personality.
Yeah. Mate, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Makes such a difference testing with two people, and especially someone as someone as experienced as Jim. I mean, we've been doing this, God, 10 years. Over a decade. We've been coming up here and arsing about with bikes in all weathers. So great to do that again.
Yeah.
Massive thanks for joining me. So thanks to Jim.
Thanks for watching.
Look out for what he's doing next year. And yeah, thanks to Santa Cruz, thanks to Forbidden for letting us keep these bikes long term. Thanks to the folks on YouTube who suggested this video. Hope a lot of other people have enjoyed it as well. Just goes to show there's way more than just geometry and wheel size when it comes to choosing the right bike for you to ride. Yeah, thanks to my regular channel sponsors, thanks to my Patreon subscribers as well, whose names are popping up now. They'll get early exclusive behind the scenes edits and they'll be ad free as a thank you. But if you can't do that at the moment, click for notifications, click for subscriptions, give it a thumbs up, like, and
tune in for the next one.
See what else we come up with. And any suggestions for stuff you want to see me do, or Jim do, you know, while he's here, before he jets off again. Yeah, just get in touch, because if you're wanting to see it, then hopefully more people want to see it. So yeah, let's make it, let's build a community channel, people. Oh God, what has become of me? What has become? All I do know is I literally cannot ride now if I'm not talking to a camera. Can't believe that happened. That was shocking. Right, bye. We are good.
Is that on?
Yep, we are. Okay. After you boys. Yeah. Right. That will smash the brains out, probably. I'll just stop it right there. Do you know what?
At least it's on camera.
Do you know what caught me out?
What?
I was going to start talking. I was like, I haven't got a camera on. And then literally just like rode into the tree because I was confused. Oh!